So, Hannah, what do you do?
Well, it's kind of hard to explain. So I am a creative and professional writer, which means I make content that looks like this, I make content that looks like this, and I spend a lot of time here. I live here, I work here, this is it for me. But trying to explain what that actually means to people can be really difficult because a lot of people go in with the assumption that it's this, and other times people think it's this, and sometimes it is that one though. Sometimes it is. But normally it's just this, which is kind of boring. And it can sometimes feel like people are looking down on you. I have a bachelor's degree in creative writing and English because I didn't think anyone would take it seriously if I just said that it was a degree in creative and professional writing, which is kind of true. Not a lot of people take me seriously and I have no idea why. But, you know, it takes someone with unrivaled enthusiasm to make it interesting, and that's where I come in. Now, these things don't spring up overnight. Unfortunately, I can't just sit in front of my camera and just say the first thing that comes into my head because that would be absolute gobbledygook, and much the same as when we sit in front of Word or in front of a notebook and try and create written content that also usually starts as utter gobbledygook. I make it a professional goal of mine to sound better written down than I do out loud. I'm actually quite good at doing that one. My process is pretty straightforward. First and foremost, I need to have a conversation with the client. What do they need? What are they looking for? And who is their ideal client? Knowing who your ideal client is really important. Knowing who I'm talking to makes writing content for that individual so much easier. For example, if you are a trade, you are going to be talking to people in either a commercial or domestic setting. Maybe your target audience is both. Maybe you like working for both of those people, but you wouldn't create content for those people as a group because you wouldn't sell them anything. Generally, the people that are paying for something commercial and the people that are paying for something domestic are two very different people, and you need to know who you're talking to. That's the first part of the conversation. The second part of the conversation is, what are you trying to say? What is your message? What are you trying to get across? Are you trying to sell them something? Are you trying to inform them of something? Are you trying to, in generally, educate them something about your industry? Are you trying to entertain them? Are you trying to give them some behind the scenes information? Are you trying to become more personable online? The next step is research. Rome wasn't built in a day, and these blogs aren't created from nowhere. I understand that everything that I write for you has to be bespoke, but I need to know what it is that's already out there. I need to know what kind of content is being generated in general, and also what other content your ideal client is engaging with. If I'm creating something that's bright and colourful and lovely, and what they need is just the taciturn response to key information, I'm misrepresenting you, I'm misrepresenting what you're selling. So I need to make sure that the voice works. Now, there are over 4 billion words in the English language, and it grows all the time, which is a great thing. You've then got to help me decide what kind of narrative voice you want for your written content. Are you going to be incredibly professional? Are you going to be formal? Are you going to be informal? Are you going to ramble on like I do? That's fine too. That works for some people. Are you going to swear? Some people do. Some people do. I do, sometimes, depending on the content. And it depends on what you're trying to say. And then the third thing I need to gather from you is, how do you want them to engage with you? Do you want them to contact you? Do you want them to call you? Do you want them to email you? Or do you want them to comment directly? Do you want them to engage in a giveaway? Do you want them to sign up to a newsletter? What do you want from them? What is the end goal? The next step in my process is writing, and that can look an awful lot like this. I think sometimes people get this idea of stereotypes in their head about what writers are like, mainly because in media we see them either as this or we see them as this. I know which one I'd rather be. Unfortunately, I'm neither of those kind of writers. I am far more of a chilled, relaxed kind of writer, very down to earth, more than happy to have the conversation, more than happy to take criticism. If you have an idea and you see it in your head and it hasn't come out the way you want it to, that is an open conversation. We can work on it. We can keep developing it. Once you're happy with the content, it belongs to you. The copyright is completely yours. If you want to use that content on multiple platforms, you are more than welcome to do so. I am not going to take that blog or brochure or CV, copy, paste it and sell it to my next client. That is not what I do, although there are writers out there that do. Once you've got your content, you can either get me to schedule it, or you can get your PA to do it, or you can get a social media manager to do it. They're quite good because they usually have a strategy and they like to use key phrases. Or if you know someone who does SEO and Google ads, they also have key phrases. They're a great person to work with. The only thing I'm not going to do is respond to the comments myself. They're your clients now. They're your responsibility. Sometimes I get clients that ask me, well, where do your ideas come from? I mean, where do any ideas come from? I remember my lecturer once said that any writer that doesn't know where to get ideas isn't a good writer. If you've met a copywriter, you might know that actually that's what they do. They copyright. They're not necessarily coming out with those ideas. That is where I provide value. I will come up with those ideas for you if you're really struggling. If you have no idea what to say, that's fine. Let's have a conversation. I can sort it. If you would like graphics that go along with it, I would recommend getting a graphic designer, but I am a dab hand at Canva, so I can do that too if you need me to. I also have a master's. I like bringing that up a lot. Not many people have a master's, and I feel special. I've self-published 2 books. I have yet to be traditionally published, but I'm working on it. I have also yet to have my Netflix breakthrough, but I've got scripts. I've got things I've worked on. They're good, I think. You gotta have confidence in your own writing, otherwise what's the point? I also host online events. That's the thing that I do now. I've always made online content, that's always been my thing, but since moving from straight written content to video content as well, just as like a hobby, I have also started hosting online events, which have thousands of people getting involved every year, which is absolutely terrifying. But we have merch this year, so that's exciting. I spend a lot of my time reading. That's a bookcase, that's a bookcase, that's a bookcase, there's another bookcase there, and oh, would you believe it? More books. I don't really leave the house, if I can help it. Although, ironically, I am leaving the house today. Not sure how I feel about that. And generally, I really enjoy what I do. I really enjoy what I do. You will find few people as infuriatingly enthusiastic as I am. Certainly in this industry, anyway. So if you know someone who's looking for written content, whether they know what they're doing or not, whether they want to write it themselves and be coached how to do it, or would like me to do it from scratch, please pass them my details. Like I said, I'm very affordable, I'm very approachable, and I'm excited by any challenge that's kind of provided for me. And obviously, if you have a connection to Netflix, please let me know. Thank you for watching this short video about what it is I do and how I do it, and I hope to hear from you very soon.